Franklin's Barbecue in Texas is regarded as the best barbecue, with their brisket being the star of the show. Like many others probably did, I looked him up and followed his steps with no avail. I was using a AAA brisket while he was using a USDA Prime. USDA Prime beef has incredible marbling and typically provides a much more juicy and buttery final product. And that's what we have here. This is the key, and if you don't believe me, take a look at what we've already done. This is midway through our process. But before we wrap it, we're gonna have to go back to the beginning and see where it all started. We're moving away from the typical traditional rub to a salt coating with our house steak rub on top. The goal of smoking meat is to utilize the fire and the slow cooking method to create a tender, smoky masterpiece. So let's start with fire management. It's extremely important to be in control of your fire and the type of smoke cooking the brisket. A heavy white smoke will have a creosote flavor, whereas a clear smoke won't have that same bitterness. Now that we have our smoker rolling, it's time to get cooking. Get your brisket in at 225 until your internal temperature reaches 165 degrees and you have developed your incredible crust. Then pull and wrap with butcher paper coated with smoked beef tallow. Then put back in at around 250 until your internal temperature reaches 203 degrees Fahrenheit. Pull and rest for 1 hour. Before we start, we must identify the two sections of the brisket, the flat and the point. The flat is the thin, lean section. The point is the thicker, juicier section. Identifying these sections is very important to note when slicing, so we cut against the grain. Now, for the fun part, separate the brisket flat from the point and continue to slice the flat in the same direction. Then turn the point and slice going the opposite direction against the grain for a delicious, juicy HQ-style barbecue brisket. I can hardly contain my excitement. Like, it's so hard to do Texas barbecue right. Like, you see it online all the time. You obviously take a look at Franklin's, you see what's around, and they make it look so simple, but it's a grueling process, and we've labored 12 hours over this bad boy, so I'm excited to see it turn out the way it did. So now let's glaze up a little piece of all the juice that sits on the table and take a bite. It's so buttery, it's so juicy, flavorful. It's got amazing smoke. It's got a nice spark, but nothing like too crunchy, which is really important in my mind. Now, I know people like to lie on camera a lot, but I'm gonna be completely honest. This is by far the best brisket I've ever cooked, and I've screwed up a lot of briskets, so I would know. The secret though really is USDA Prime. Like, to use the high quality brisket, something integrated with a really, really large amount of fat makes all the difference in the end. It does take a bit more time to render down. It shrinks a little bit, but the final product has way more flavor. It's way juicier. You don't get that dryness. And then obviously it's like that creamy, buttery taste that's what you want in Texas barbecue. So cut yourself off a slice, dig in, enjoy every second of this because you've labored over it and it's worth it. So enjoy, have a great night, and I hope you had as much fun as I did with this incredible meat experience.